Welcome.
Good morning. Yeah, just so in case you guys don't know, Alexa is moonlighting as a DJ. Good morning.
Yeah, I had to put something on that was in the vibes of our loss yesterday.
I know. I'm still wearing my UM representing. We did a good job yesterday, guys. Makes me cry. No, don't make me cry. It's great. Hey, Eldon, Achi, Ivan. It's great seeing some of you guys last week at a member only um, happy hour sponsored by Lending One. So it's great seeing you guys. As we do more in-person events, guys, again, you're gonna have to register, make sure you show up. Our events are filling up, guys, so it's really important. When you register, you do show up or um, at least register. Meaning we actually had a waiting list for our happy hour capacity. We had to shut it down.
Good time. I was there in spirit.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. That's Violet. How you doing?
It's not over till it's over, guys. Don't forget that.
I know, like, I mean,
All right.
I guess if there's a good thing that UM didn't win last night, is that I'd be just getting home right now.
Yeah, okay.
I would have been partying in the streets until 10 a.m.
You know I don't let you go out on the street the night before a webinar, so good try. Nice try, buddy.
Yeah.
Anyone go to the game in here? I'm like curious if we have any big ballers that went to the
Yeah.
game
Today,
last night.
I know. I was looking at tickets, $3,500 for upper level. I'm like, yeah, that was problem number one. Number two, if I wanted to go with somebody, $70,000 upper level.
Gosh. Everyone was there though. Mark Cuban, Trump. Everyone was there. It was great, dude.
Exactly. Oh, Violet said Goyo went. Her son went. Okay.
Wow.
Fancy. Hopefully they got some good tickets. Mm.
We could go to Jamaica twice for that, right? You're not wrong. You're not
For a week.
wrong.
Have
Literally.
a nice resort. So
All right, guys. Let's go ahead and lock in. We're gonna lock in now. It's time. We gotta get over the loss.
yeah.
I mean, the only my mom's happy, so there's one positive. My
Oh,
mom,
she
my
went to
mom was
Indiana,
born and
right?
raised in Indiana. She
Ooh.
went to USF with you, same as
I know.
you, but she's a Hoosier, whatever the heck they are.
Hoosier. Yeah. I thought you called her a loser. I'm like, Alexa.
Absolutely not.
You're getting some. Remember, this is recorded.
I know she's in
I'm
the
gonna,
private Facebook group where we're
yeah.
streaming right now. So, hey everyone, if you're on Facebook, hello. We are live on Zoom right now and love you, Mom. And we're proud of our Midwest roots there. I know it doesn't look like it, but it's 50%, so there's some in there. But yeah, no, it was a good game and we'll get over it because we have lots to look forward to throughout the year. So let's get started, people. But happy Tuesday. It's a new day. It's not over till it's over. Sorry, guys. Locking it now. Oh my gosh. Welcome to our webinar today. This is BPM Maria Broward, Palm Beach, Miami-Dade Real Estate Investors Association, your only local and approved chapter here in South Florida that is in compliance and partnered with the National Real Estate Investors Association, which super exciting. The cruise is coming up. The National RIA Cruise, you guys, I don't know if you know about it, but I'll throw in the link in the chat just so you can get that. And anyone who missed it, we have our new president here in the virtual building in Ishtave. He is the new president for National RIA for 2026 term, which I believe is a couple years. So that is like super exciting and just fantastic. So we have a lot going on this year, and we're just so excited and happy to have such a great year and an awesome start to 2026. So welcome to the webinar, everyone. My name is Alexa, COO here at BPM RIA, and we have our last webinar before the 2-day quick start training this weekend. So if you haven't booked any calls with me, please scan the QR code at the top, schedule a call with me. I would love to get in touch with you guys one-on-one, and you'll see that QR code in every slide. But today we are going to raffle off a free ticket to our 2-day quick start training. This is going to be the last free ticket that we raffle out. So go ahead and enter the raffle. All you need to do is text the word quick start to 954-800-6961. And this is a $895 value. So go ahead and text that word to that phone number you see on the screen. I also threw those details in the chat, and I will announce the winner at the very end of today's training. And I'm so happy to see you guys here on time early, because once again, we are going to talk about the dirt, the nasty, the dirty, the ugly, but it's going to have a happy ending, and we really love that. So you guys go ahead and enter the raffle, and I will announce that winner at the end. Easy way to keep up with events, go ahead and text BPM REIA, all one word, no spaces, to our event line. You'll get those text updates for any of our webinars, such as today, workshops, happy hours, networking, all that good stuff, boot camps. You will get notified and reminded via text as long as you go ahead and opt in, which the instructions are on the screen, and I also popped it in the chat for you guys. So go ahead and do that. Super convenient and easy. We love it. Our next 2-day quick start training, which I just mentioned, is this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, all day, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., both days. We're locking in 8 hours a day, you guys, because we're getting into it. We're going to talk about wholesaling, flipping, rehabbing. We're going to have 4 incredible guest speakers on this training. They're all local business owners, all part of our power team here at BPM RIA. I see most of you guys have already attended, so if you want to put some encouraging notes in the chat for everyone else who has not, go ahead and do that. The chat is open. So we're going to talk about, we're going to even include like creative financing, AI hacks. We're going to have our chief tax strategist. We're going to have our contractor, and you're going to meet every one of these people. We'll have some mentors in there. And thankfully, Anish thought of everything after the first day. If this is not for you, it is a money back guarantee. So this is the best, safest training that you can take. It's going to be cameras on, microphones on. It will not be like this webinar. It will be highly interactive. You will get to network with the other people that are on the training, and we have a good time. It might be long days, but we are feeling really good after. And another thing that you can look forward to is a PDF booklet to keep for life. So there's so many reasons why you need to be on this training and not wait until the next one, which will be in May, you guys. So lock in. Link is in the chat. Members, as you guys know, you get all of the goodies. You get the membership benefit package, which is going to get you all of those discounts to Home Depot, millennial property insurance, rent perfect landlord tools, self-directed IRA accounts with Camaplan, all of the good stuff. So many benefits and discounts, you guys. The list goes on. You get in free for our 4 quarterly networking meetings that we have per year. And then you also get special pricing on any of the workshops that we have throughout the year, as well as exclusive networking opportunities. So go ahead and get your membership now if you don't have it already. Link is in the chat. And last but very not least, before we get started with our webinar today, if you don't know anything about our one-on-one coaching and mentoring programs, I highly, highly recommend that you go ahead and book a discovery call on our website, scan the QR code, go ahead and text BPM RIA, all of the things, because we do offer one-on-one coaching and mentoring here at BPM RIA, where we put up 100% of the money for the deals with our students and split the profit 50-50. We are with you every step of the way and provide everything you need in the programs to do deals right now. So go ahead and book your discovery call. I love to chat with you guys. This is the best for me just to hear from you one on one, hear what you're looking for, and see if what we provide is a good match for you to get you to your goals in real estate investing. So we love to chat, and we have this QR code that you see on the screen here. This is our third party funding with Get Gap funding. Get Gap? Is that what it's called, Nish?
Yeah, or Pathway Financial.
Pathway Financial, goodness gracious, I'm literally saying what the link is. So if you scan this,
That's enough.
you'll see the link that I'm saying right now. I'll go ahead and send this to everybody in my follow-up email once we leave the webinar today. But this is going to be our third-party funding for mentoring tuition, for anything. So go ahead and scan the QR code if you're interested in this. Soft credit pull, 0% interest rate, and then you get the quick response within 24 hours. So that is there for you guys. And I always, always, always want to take a moment to thank you guys for showing up for today's webinar. And always want to thank the National RIA for everything that they provide. I'll go ahead and pop in the National RIA cruise link because I know Anish said there might be one or two spaces left for you guys, which is so exciting because again, this leaves local. This leaves from Miami this time, Anish. This one
Yep.
leaves from
And
Miami. So it's like you don't even have to fly across the country to get there. So I always want to thank our vendor partners as well. You can find them on our website. I'll link them in the chat. And thank you guys again for showing up and being here. We have quite a class today. And I love that people show up for this. They love showing up for the crazy webinars here, but we're glad to share. We don't hide anything here at BPM RIA, and we want to know your questions. So please go ahead and put your questions in the Q&A box. There's a Q&A box in the Zoom menu that you'll see with the little question mark and Q&A there. So direct your questions there for us if you would please. And yeah, we're just gonna I'm surprised Nish brought a whole PowerPoint today. It's gonna be interesting. I'm kind of scared.
yeah, exactly. So you know how we roll here. So how many of you guys were on our webinars last week? We did something in the evening. Go ahead and put in the chat. I see a lot of familiar faces. So the way I like running these webinars, we want to make these as interactive as possible. Yep, Andrew, I remember seeing you on there. So this is a continuation. And today, it's the mistakes that nearly broke me, right? So who am I? I do see a lot of new names on here. My name is Anish Dave, lead mentor, president of BPM RIA, now president of National RIA. I've been a real estate agent since 2004. I'm still a licensed mortgage guy. I'm on the board of directors for NSOCI. I've done a lot of different things. I grew up in New Jersey. I have a degree in finance. I realized two things about growing up in New Jersey. I love it and I hate the cold weather. The second thing I realized was I didn't want to be an engineer. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to get a degree in finance. And I had to get the heck out of Jersey. Too cold for me. I've been in real estate investing since, gosh, 2001. I was a fantastic investor for you old timers. From 2001 to 2008, I crushed it. Many guys may have been investing back then and yeah, punched in the teeth like I did in 2009. One of the things for me was, how many guys have read Rich Dad Poor Dad? Put in the chat. Again, I'm going to ask you guys questions just because I want to make sure you guys are alive. Yep, couple of you guys, right? And I realized one of the things with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I was nerdy enough to even have the board game. So I don't know if you know what that is, Alexa, but a board game is, you know, no, I'm kidding. So, and one of the things was what I really realized was that my dad was poor dad, right? He's a financial analyst. He worked for the same company for 35 plus years and very smart guy. And at the end of the day, really didn't have much. He's got retirement, but nothing great. And when I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I realized I was on the path of being poor dad. I was going to be a financial analyst or a banker or something of that nature just to have a great title. And then I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I said, oh, shoot. I don't want to be poor dad. So what did I do? I got my mortgage license. I started my own mortgage company. I started buying a lot of properties out there, did really well until the market crashed. As the market was crashing, I was a wholesaler, or not a wholesaler, I was a rehabber and a buy and hold guy. Never heard of wholesaling. So you guys got to remember in 2008, there was really, I don't even know when YouTube started. I feel like it was just in the beginning. You might know, Alexa. It was definitely in the early stages. I'm gonna say there was probably no Instagram yet. The social media world was nothing close to what it is. So I went to a free class and I said, "Wow, there's the wholesaling." Spent over $50,000 back then uh, on coaching and mentoring and great information. The challenge was that my mentor was in Utah, right? So they didn't know about the South Florida market. We know what happens in Florida. One block, it's beautiful. One block, it's scary, right? The streets change pretty quickly here. And you know that if you invest down here in South Florida. So that's a little bit of background about me. One of the things that we say here at BPM RIA, we want to make real estate investing made simple. Let's not complicate it, right? And so on our team, sometimes you'll see that we'll have some of our mentors on here. Today, no mentors, it's just me and Alexa or Alexa and I. Alexa is our COO. When you come into the meetings, if you came to the happy hour, our quarterly. You probably saw Michael and Mabby, Harry and Victoria, Denise and Lucian. They were all former students and then they became mentors. So they all still in real estate investing. The common bond that we have between the four of us is we all spent over, I want to say the cheapest was $30,000, maybe 25,000 on a national program to learn how to flip houses. We're all in different programs and combined we did zero deals, right? That's true. So imagine that we've all spent money, different programs, and now we do this full time. So how many guys have actually done a national program? Put in the chat. Just kind of curious, right? And so one of the things after I lost everything, we talked about how are you living your best life? My wife and I, we love to travel. She's actually in Colombia right now, and she's already picking out our next travel spots. And it's this wholesaling, rehabbing, and real estate investing got me from being broke to back into traveling and doing the things that I love. Some of the other things that I've been able to do is spend time with my dad. If you guys have been coming to the meetings, you've probably seen him, even on social media. He's 87. And one of the things I was missing out was I was too busy being busy. So one of the things that's really important for me is that I find the balance. The other thing I did forget to mention because I see Aisha on here too. I am also one of the founders of Next Million Mastermind, and what we really push is that balance in your life. So it's great making a lot of money, and imagine you're not healthy. Imagine all your relationships aren't good. One of the other things is all the mentors love to travel. We love traveling all the way through. It's pretty fun. I worked with the Miami Dolphins, Business Combine. I am their expert on wholesaling and rehabbing. I am also the wholesale rehab expert for PAC, the professional athletic community. Some of you guys that have actually attended some of our quick starts or our meetings, you probably see these big guys, and you're saying, "Hey, what do they do?" They're former NFL guys. And a lot of times they're actually on our 2 day quick starts. I'm not sure how many people registered. We usually get five or six of them pop on. It's pretty amazing. Again, they are interested in real estate just like you. And one of the things that makes me laugh is they're scared. They're scared to make an offer, right? These guys, in general, are the 0.001% in their field, and they're afraid to make offers and evaluate properties, the things that happen to you. We also love doing our BPM student community. We have happy hours. We do barbecues. The Alaskan cruise was pretty fun. Again, we're doing our cruise not next week, 2 weeks, February 1st to the 8th out of Miami. It's 7 days of fun, travel, and learning. So there's about 100 real estate investors from around the country. And that is true that I believe there were 2 or 3 spots that open up today. So if you're really interested, I'm going to tell you, hop on. They're inside cabins. You get 7 days of fun, and you get to meet real estate investors around the country. I do want to apologize if my voice is a little shot. It was football weekend. Me yelling at the TV last night, watching the Hurricanes game, hoping that they would win. So, also, I got to meet Grant Cardone. One of the things about Grant Cardone, I wasn't a big fan of him because of social media. He wasn't really my cup of tea until I met him. What I do like about what he's passionate about is helping out kids and teaching them real estate investing. So for me, it's pretty cool to sit with them, and it was pretty interesting what he had to say. And last but not least, I was the first guest on the national show Money Chat with Trina Robinson as their housing expert, which was always fun to be on TV and really talk to Trina and tell the group what's going on in our market. What I'm going to do before we start the webinar or get into the good stuff, I guess, I don't want to call it good stuff or the stuff that really broke me. I'm going to play a quick video because I do see a lot of new people on here of what we've been up to.
This is one of the best programs I've been a part of. The support is outstanding.
I encourage you to join this association. Your life will be changed.
Anish and everybody that was part of the BPM RIA they were just wonderful. They got very knowledgeable. They were helpful. They were patient, kind, very good teachers, very organized. Everything was just it was a great uh, quick start seminar.
BPM RIA, Anish and the team, they are amazing. I have been a corporate member of the BPM RIA, formerly known as BRIA, for probably almost 15 years. And being part of an organization like that is just amazing when you get to see the people's lives that they're changing.
Hey, what's up? This is Avery Boss, former New York Giant, former Miami Dolphin. Recently, I got to finish up this hack event where it's a group of professional retired athletes that got together and we're trying to figure out the next chapter of our life. Just hearing them talk, going through everything, like instantly, I was inspired by the guy. It was like a light bulb clicked above my head like a cartoon. And thanks to this day, I can say furthermore, I'm going to go through this process and get into real estate, stop messing around and actually do it because I feel confident now of knowing what I want to do after meeting him, getting the base knowledge and seeing how things are.
Position. Grab the seat of the chair. The seat.
There you go.
Should be on corners if you want to. All right, go straight into the floor. Not at an angle, straight up and down. From the ceiling straight to the floor. Touch it once.
You're
Touch
gonna
it twice.
destroy that shit, dude.
Touch it a third time. Explode!
And I have to say, they're an exceptional bunch of people to work with. How to use a technique, creative financing, how to get rid of liens. Don't hesitate to join, work with them. They will definitely help you get through the roughest times.
They put up all the money for the deals. They're there with you, make sure all the paperwork is right. They're not going to leave you alone on this. And yeah, I recommend this.
BPM Rio program, it's definitely changed our lives. They funded our deals.
Hey, can't go wrong with other people's money.
Exactly. They funded our deals. They got us into real estate. They held our hand the whole way through, and just really, the most amazing thing is we literally have these guys to. It's nothing for us to pick up the phone and call the Nish and be like, "Hey, look, we got this deal. What do we do?"
They're not going to let your deal fall through.
You're muted, Anish.
Yep, that
There
was a
you are.
quick look back on what we've done. And I did notice, I know Alexa texted me, there was some thing going on your screen a little bit. Let me see if I could figure this out and see what the heck is going on in there. So as I figure this out, so the next hour or so, I'm going to talk about some of the things that almost killed me on the real estate investing side. I'm going to tell you some best practices, some of the red flags out there. I'm also going to talk about our one-on-one coaching program. I'm also going to talk about our 2-day quick start and why you're going to want to invest in it. So let's see if I could get this thing fixed. Nope, look at that. It's still, what the heck is going on there? So hold on 1 second. Let's try something else. Nope, that's the whole thing. What the heck? So now you guys know why I'm in real estate versus the tech world.
The corner isn't too bad.
The
It's
what?
not, the corner isn't too bad, just like the corner
That
grayed
is just
out.
a really yeah, I don't know what that's blocked on it. So I apologize up front. Um, and that's how real estate is too. So
Yep.
it's kind of funny. It's a good lesson because sometimes it doesn't matter how much you plan. Sometimes things don't work out. So what's the truth about real estate investing? So one of the things is real estate doesn't fail people, right? If you actually do it correct, it's not really going to be a challenge. It's people actually fail systems. So if you have the right system and the right people, you'll be able to get deals done. So a lot of times people get confused on that, and most losses are preventable. So that's always important too, right? So how many guys, I mean, you can put in the chat, and if you can text me privately, how many guys have lost money on real estate? Put in the chat, right? So I've lost literally millions of dollars, 28 properties plus. So a couple of you guys, okay. A couple of you guys haven't. And one of the things that not yet, Eldon, I hope not, right? Okay, Damien, yep, some of you guys have. So what I can tell you, and I love it, is, and I know Dimitri, I know you, yeah, we've chatted a few times, is that if you were investing from 2008 and onward as a true real estate investor, you lost money. And Paul Regan, who's been with our organization for 15 plus years, he's retired. He's a hard money lender guy. And he said it best is that just tells me you weren't investing. We did a webinar, gosh, how long ago was that? I want to say it's 4 or 5 years ago. And Paul Regan talked about, and I asked him the hard question, was how much money did you lose? And, that's the Jersey side of me. And he just smiled and laughed. And I didn't think he was going to answer it. And he lost 10 million, I'm sorry, $8 million. So I wanted to throw up when he told me that. And hard to believe, I actually had nothing to say, which is hard to believe. I know, Alexa, I know you're saying, what? You had nothing to say. And then he goes, what's the follow-up question? I said, I don't know. I'm like in shock. And the follow-up question is, well, how much money did I make after in the next couple of years? And the answer was 10 million, right? So a lot of times that we always talk about, hey, you got to go out there and hustle. You got to go out there and do it, go out there and, wing it, all the above. What you really need is clarity. How many guys realize you need clarity, right? And just out of curiosity, how many guys need to make more money in 2026? Curious. How many guys actually need to make more money? And if you don't put something in the chat, I want to know what you guys are doing. All right, Ron, Majid. Okay, right? How many guys realize that you're going to have to sharpen your skills? And if you don't sharpen your skills, it's going to cost you money, right? You can't be living in 2008, 9, 10. Alexa, I think you were like, how old? Like 15?
Yep. Exactly.
Right? And then ultimately, you guys realize that you're going to have to invest in yourself. And if you don't, you're going to be left behind, right? Give me a yeah, buddy. So the question becomes, why do smart people still lose money? Why do smart people, go ahead, Alexa, why do you think smart people lose money? What's one of the things that might?
They're smart, just not in real estate.
Fair enough, right? It could be bad assumptions, right? You're just assuming things. The market is really good. The condo market's fantastic. The Midwest is better for this. Prices always go up. How many guys always thought that? So again, when I started in real estate, and I never really went through a downturn, right? So when I talked to my parents in the 80s and 90s, there were a bunch of downturns. And when I got into real estate in 2001 in South Florida, guess what was happening, right? All the prices were going up. So I just assumed that prices will always go up. It's real estate. Everyone always told me, no one ever loses any money for real estate. No margin for error, right? So when we talk about that is, what do you do if interest rates go up? So I want to say, it's been probably 2 years now. Interest rates, or when the pandemic started, remember all the rates went down to, under 3%. Some as low as I've seen as 2.25%, 2.25. And I believe the national news or what people are saying, about 40% of the people refinanced. So they're under that 3.5, 2.5, percent interest rates. And when you start doing bigger projects, right, especially like multifamily, or you're doing a rehab, and you're thinking it's gonna be 2.5, 3% rate. Maybe you're a builder, right? And you're saying, hey, I want to develop, these houses, and you're planning on that development, what you realize that could be 2 or 3 years out, right? So when I say that is you're banking on low interest rates. So I know the CEO of Amerit Bank, and what he was talking about, a lot of these multifamily people, they did 5-year loans, like they're balloons. And when I say balloons, it might be amortized over 15, 20, or 30 years, but you got to pay it in full. So let's say I borrowed $1 million and Alexa's the bank, and I got it at 2.5, 3%. I'm paying interest only for 5 years. And now guess what? I have to redo my loan, or I'm refinancing it. And the interest rates went up from 3% to 6% or 7%. It literally doubled the payment. So when you have no margin for error, like you're not looking into what can happen. So that's one of the things that happened to me. The other one is scaling too fast. How many guys want to build a business and I need to do it now, All right. So the younger, I pick the younger people, is that, hey, listen, I want to make money fast as possible, right? I want to go from, one deal to 100 deals in 1 year. So yes, is it possible? Absolutely. But if you're scaling too fast, right, you don't have the right systems. You don't have capital. Maybe you don't have the right disposition, right? So I've seen a lot of people that went from, okay, they went from, I don't know, a couple of properties. Now they want to build out a full acquisition team on the real estate side, right? Now they hired 10 people, 15 people. They got office space. They went from a little spot, from their bedroom to now they got a call center. And they're scaling too fast and they don't have the systems in there. And what happens is you run out of money. So we see that happen all the time. And then there's no real framework, right? You're just gonna kind of figure it out. So out of the four, right, which ones really hit the most for you? Put in the chat. I'm always curious. Which one hits in the chat more? Put in the chat. I'm sorry. Which one hits you more? So again, I've been on all four of these. I'm gonna figure it out, right? Bad assumptions. So I mean, what I will talk about, right? Let's talk about a bad assumption. Was I bought a duplex in Little Haiti, and it was a probate, and I was just getting into real estate investing, and I was gonna, buy and hold guy. There were, I forgot, either 9 or 11 heirs, and they were in Haiti, of course, and it took 2 years to get the probate done. So duplex, it hasn't been upgraded. The roof was fine. And it was a 2-1 on each side, and I was getting 600 a month. I bought it all in for about 100 grand, 95, $100,000 in there, right? I paid for the probate. And all of a sudden the values went crazy. So, again, I had a mortgage company and the appraisal came back at, guess what? Alexa, how much do you think the appraisal came back at? So duplex, 100,000 I bought it for. It's a 2-1 on each side in Little Haiti. And within 6 months, got to put in the chat, what do you guys think the appraisal came back? What's your number?
I don't know. I'm not a realtor.
220, 80. It came back at 425,000.
Wow.
Right? So what did Anish do? Woo! I'm in the money, right? Woo! I was like, wow, I'm gonna refinance it. I'm gonna take a bunch of money out. Then back then they had remember the financing was different. You could actually do 100% line of credits, HELOCs on investment properties with no income, no assets, just based on your credit score. So what did I do? I refinanced it, and then I took a line of credit for the difference. So I probably did, I want to say I probably did 120, 150 on the refinance, and I got a line of credit for like almost 250 or 270 or whatever the number was. And I said, okay, fantastic. The price of or the taxes went up from $800 a year to 4,000, 4,200, and the insurance went up to 3,000, 3,200, really around there. My rent was $600 on each side. That's 1,200. So if you're doing the math, right? So imagine if I owned it free and clear, insurance and taxes were about 7,000. So that's almost half of my rent already. Throw in some mortgages, and the rates back then, I want to say, were around 6 or 7%. So I was losing, right? It's funny when I start thinking about these stories, I bury these stories so long ago. I was probably losing 2 or 3,000 a month in cash flow. What was my assumption? The appraisal said this, if I really need the money, I could sell it. Right? And the idea was I wanted to be a buy and hold guy, right? I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. And one of the missing things I missed was the passive income. So my debt service, I was literally losing a couple thousand a month. In the meantime, I was buying more properties. I'm going to fix them, keep them, all the above, right? So I went from going from 1, 2, 3 on the domino effect to now up to 28 properties. So I did number one. What's the bad assumption, right? Prices always go up. Definitely had no margin for error because I just assumed prices would go up, right? I just thought I'd be able to sell it. Number three was I was scaling too fast. So I was making bad decisions just because I had money, right? I'm like, oh yeah, prices go up. I'm going to get in this, and that really kind of buried me. And then the fourth was there was no framework, and so I didn't really have a plan. So how many guys can relate to this? Having no plan, right? And some of you guys might be too tired and say, "Oh yeah, I can't even figure that out," right? So some of the mistakes that I made on my portfolio, right, was over leveraged growth, right? And what I mean by that is exactly what I said was I was getting too many loans and negative cash flow, right? So that was pretty massive, right? That really crushed me because it was a domino effect. So imagine your cash flow, right? Meaning the rent that you're bringing in versus your expenses, you're losing money, not on one property. Now it's 10. Now it's 15. Some of them were breaking even. I was a one-man show, right? There was no infrastructure. And I'm a number guy too, right? So I didn't really, did I have a spreadsheet? Yeah. 1 out of 10, right? So, Alexa, you'd probably be happy you didn't know me then, versus how organized I am. So on my personal business end of it, there was no infrastructure at all. Like we're just going to kind of wing it. I'm getting the payments. I'm managing some of them not. Paying the HOA, and I didn't take the time to figure out a system. What does it really look like, right? So that really hurt my 28 portfolio. The other one that I mean, if you guys can relate to this one, thinking I owned properties was freedom. So how many guys are landlords? Put in the chat. I know some of you guys are landlords. Some of you guys might actually manage them yourself, right? So some of you guys might say, "Hey, I own these properties, but it gives me no freedom." I really confused it, thinking I had 28 properties. I got all the freedom in the world. Only, gosh, the properties in Tampa, I had a property manager, and I'll talk about that story too. The ones locally, I managed myself. So guess who was dealing with issues? Me. Anyone that really knows me knows that I am beyond negatively handy. And what I mean by that is, even in my high-rise house, condo I live in, my wife laughs at me. She says, "Man, you fix houses and all this other stuff." And until about 3 years ago, I didn't even have a screwdriver in my house. Alexa knows that, I put the paintings up or stuff on the wall. I call our handyman, right? So meaning here I am trying to manage these things and I really didn't know what I was doing. So I thought owning this was going to get me where I needed to be. And then the biggest one was ego. Man, I'm making money. I have this high net worth. The property went from 100,000 to 400,000. I doubled my money on this. It was easy. I'm doing pre-construction. I was buying them so early, and then I was taking out the money that everything was easy. So that was one of the things that, or I'm never going to fail in this. I know my numbers. I have great credit. How's that possible? So out of those, right, which one can you guys relate to? I was kind of curious, right? Which one is the one that hits you the most? And then when we talk about deals don't fail overnight, right? The warning signs are always there. So what was my warning signs, right? So the people that may have invested back then, you guys know in the big, recession or crash or whatever you want to call it, I call it depression, it didn't happen one day to the next. So in that world, literally these banks were closing. So I had the mortgage company, I had all these properties, and then on like one day you're like, oh my gosh, Washington Mutual is closing, which is now, Chase. Countrywide would close the next week. IndyMac, right? all these things were happening all the way through, right? And one of the warning signs that was for me was every person was a real estate investor. So when I this again 2006, 7, everybody was, right? So I should have known, it makes me laugh and God bless her, is that when my cleaning lady with no real estate experience said she owned 3 investment properties, right? And she's, cleaning houses full time, that there must have been something going on, right? So if you guys have watched the movie The Big Short, all the signs were there, meaning a lot of times that they're out there and you just don't want to see it, right? How many of you guys can relate to that? That, hey, this is what's happening, and the signs are always there, right? Interest rates have been going up. What we could do, what we've been seeing is the foreclosure rate's been going up. Living here in South Florida, right? The condo market. What have we seen with this 40-year recertification? So depending on which market you're in, right? I mean, and when I use this, it depends on which condo market, depends where you live. So I'm gonna say all the super luxury, I'm not gonna talk about that. So if you're at our meeting, Bana, who's one of my friends and one of the best luxury realtors, yeah, she's selling condos for 6 million, 8 million, 10 million. Absolutely, right? The other condos out there, the lower end, right? And when I say lower end, less than 255 and over, it's a whole different world. I recently got a call where a seller wanted to sell their 2-2, a 55 and over neighborhood with rental restrictions. She literally had an appraisal of $132,000, right? Or I'm sorry, yeah, 132 or 142 was the appraisal. And I looked at all the comps. There must have been 30 or 40 condos for sale within a half a mile. The cheapest one sold for 35,000, same square footage, right? So the warning signs are already there. She owns it free and clear. Desperate, right? So I said, "What's the least you'll take?" She said 130. And I said, "Okay." The rents don't make any sense, meaning if you follow me with the math, rents were, she said 2,100. I looked online, probably 18 or 1,900. I felt comfortable. The HOA was $500 a month, and the taxes were 300 a month, so 800. And even at night, that's clearing $1,000. But even on 130, it didn't make any sense for me. They're still paying off an assessment. And what I offered, hopefully she's not on this webinar, is, well, she's like, "What would you do for?" And I said, "I wouldn't pay more than 50,000. The reason is because I see the signs there. I want to get my cash on cash back. If I rent it for 3 years, I'm fine. 4 years, I know I'll make my money back, right? Maybe, well, I'll be able to sell it. Would I do seller financing? Maybe. And the old me, 2008, would have been, oh, the appraisal said this, and I got a $20,000 discount or 30,000, right? The warning signs are already there. How many guys ignore them, right? I 100% ignored them. And for me, I didn't want to see what I wanted to see, right? So a lot of you guys may be realtors, and I love my realtors. I'm a licensed agent, and you guys are the biggest cheerleaders ever, right? And what I mean by that is you're only going to show me all the good stuff. I thought it was pretty interesting. National RIA did a webinar about, gosh, I want to say about 2 weeks ago, and they had this expert talking about the economy. And they were saying on the real estate side, again, it's very local, depends on the market, and the numbers were going up. What was interesting was in Florida, our numbers were either leveling or going down. The Tampa, St. Pete area was going down. We've leveled off in general. The Northeast, with the prices were going up, and the Midwest was still cash flowing pretty well in general. So they're going up 3 or 4%. And what they were talking about, all the different economists, what I thought was really interesting was they're saying, okay, we feel good about 2026. We think there'll be, growth 4 to 5% on the real estate side. Again, this is general. And the board of NAR, the board of realtors, were talking about 14% growth. So a lot of times realtors are very optimistic, and it could really throw your numbers off in there. A lot of times emotion, right? Your emotion overrides logic, right? I really feel like this place is gonna be great. I really want a deal. How many guys can relate to me that a lot of times you're looking at deals and you just want to make the numbers work? Put in the chat if that's you, right? The numbers have to work. I really have to get a deal. Okay. Right? That's your emotion versus the logic, right? What are the rents? What is happening out there, right? So you guys got to you got to notice this and then hope, right? So when I was losing everything, I was hoping that the market would go back up. I was hoping that we would rebound. I literally took my 28 properties. I had a lot of money saved, and I was hoping that prices would go up. So I kept paying those properties for about 6 months. So I went from hundreds of thousands of dollars to basically losing everything. And one of my mentors, or not, well, I don't want to say mentor, one of the guys I met was he was the CEO of Mace, like the Mace, the spray, and he lives here in Fort Lauderdale. And one of my best friends is her COO. So here I am on Los Olos Isles, probably, I don't know, a 10, $12 million house. And you could see all this wealth. He owns 4 or 5 houses, super smart guy, and self-made. And one of the things he said, right, and I was telling him what's happened to me, and he goes, Anish, you wake up every day and you lose money. What are you doing? Right? So that really had to sink in. My emotions and my hope was that everything's going to turn around. Yeah, maybe in a few years. I couldn't hold everything, right? So when you're living in hope, it doesn't get done, right? You got to have a strategy. So it's really important when it comes down there. So 3 red flags that deals going sideways. What are some of the things? Got to put in chat. What are some of the things that's a red flag that you might see that you're saying, hey, it's not working? Put in the chat. I'm kind of curious what you guys think too, right? The numbers only work on paper. What does that mean, right? It looks good, right? You're looking at your numbers, but you're not actually adding, maybe it could be interest rates. You're not adding, restrictions. You're not adding assessments, right? So your numbers look good. You're using only closed comps. So we see this all the time where investors are only using closed comps and you're not using active comps. When you're in our 2-day quick start, we show you exactly what we're doing on that, right? So the numbers work, but not really. The appraisal tells me it was this, and that wasn't true, right? So one of our members, he had an appraisal, this is about, gosh, 6, 7 years ago. Very smart guy, CPA, and he showed me appraisal. It was in West Palm or Boca area, and the appraisal was like 1.3 million. He was going to get it for 800,000, right? And he needed about $200,000 in repairs. He's like, Anish, it works good. I think it's great. I'm going to use hard money. And he used, I'm sorry, actually it was 700,000. And he raised $600,000 from private friends and family. And he's like, you want to be on this deal? And I'm like, no, I almost said his name. I said, no way. It doesn't make any sense. What he didn't, he told me, I looked at it. The HOA had a golf course, and every person in that development had to be a member of the golf course. Well, the golf course cost or the membership was over $75,000 a year, right? So yeah, I see that the appraisal was this, it needs this, and the numbers tell you one thing, and how many people could afford 75,000 a year and they want to be in that golf course? And now you're over $1 million. So the numbers shrink. So again, if the numbers may work, you have to look at all the other stuff. The one that kills me is flexibility. What do you do on the exit strategy? Say it doesn't sell. Say you're doing a rehab, right? And you estimated 4 months. Now it's 8 months. let's say your goal is short-term rentals, right? You want to do an STR, and you do all the numbers, and it's all the short-term rental numbers make sense. It's double, let's just say for easy numbers. A traditional rental is 3,000, and you're thinking, hey, I'm a short-term rental operator, or I want to get into this. I can make 6,000, right? Yeah, it works. But if I finance it, right, and let's say I have to put a long-term renter in there and my debt service is 4,000 and the rent's only 3,000. Now what? Right? So one of the things that happened, remember the pandemic when it started, everyone was freaking out. Everything closed. We literally, from the rehabs to people who weren't paying their rent, what's your exit strategy? Do you have reserves? Right? So you need to have flexibility. So I mean, that's one of the things is what happens if this happens? Right? What happens if the rehab takes longer? What happens if we were doing a rehab and Carl Shealy, who's one of our contractors, and he'll be one of the people speaking at the Quick Start, and we're looking at doing this rehab, and the impact windows was taking forever. So there was a delay, right? There was a supply chain issue. So normally those impact windows would take 3 or 4 weeks. It was taking 12 weeks, right? So now what? I'm paying for, electric. I'm paying for hard money. So you got to have multiple exit strategies. What do you do if this doesn't work out? And we've seen, like I'm friends obviously with some hard money lenders, and they're literally taking the property back, right? So again, you got to make sure you have some sort of flexibility. And one of the other things is it has to be perfect execution. What do you think I mean by that? When I tell you it has to be perfect, is that everything, my timeline has to be on time. I said it's going to take 6 months. It can't go longer. The price I have to sell it for is 400,000. It can't be 350 or 360, right? The permit situation. So you guys will learn that depending on which city in South Florida or even Tampa or the above, the cities aren't created equal. And what I mean by that is permits. Some cities are easier than others, right? It might be, sometimes we buy properties with liens and violations. It depends on which city. So one of the things is I'm only going to make money if everything's perfect. But I can tell you that a lot of times everything's not going to be perfect, guys. Right? And some of the other things that happen, right? We're overconfident, lack of experience. We rely on best case scenarios, and nobody's challenging assumptions, right? These are some of the things that happen that we miss. Right? How do we evaluate deals with clarity and confidence, right? Does it solve a real problem? Right? Am I adding an addition to a property? Are there not enough rentals in there, right? Does Section 8, does it qualify, right? Again, these are questions you want to ask. What's the margin of safety if it doesn't rent for 2 months? What happens if I'm thinking it's a short-term rental and now the city says no more short-term rentals? And I base my numbers on that, right? So you got to make sure. And what happens if things go wrong? What do I do next, right? So on the wholesaling side, if you do perfect, there's no chance of anything going wrong. And then who am I relying on, right? Am I relying on my team? Am I relying on the market? Am I relying on interest rates, right? Am I thinking that Amazon's opening up a distribution center? What am I really relying on, right? Again, these are really important for you. And I always tell people it comes from filters, not spreadsheets. You don't need to know everything. So a lot of you guys, and this happened to me, was analysis paralysis. I am going to get into real estate once I know everything out there, right? And the important thing is you have to know what you need to know what matters. Are you going to know everything? You're not. Am I a full-time contractor? Absolutely not. I have a great team for that, right? And the big thing is you don't want to make it overly complicated. Simplicity creates speed. And the big thing is speed creates confidence. So many of you guys, right? How many of you guys have been thinking about real estate investing? Right? And you're saying, hey, I want to become an investor, and you haven't pulled the trigger. Right? Some of you guys have said at our meetings, I've been part of BPM RIA and BRIA for 15 years, and I've seen some of the same people for years and years. And then what do they say is that I really want to get into real estate investing, and they haven't even made an offer, right? They haven't evaluated a property. So the people that do really well in this, speed is important, right? And so when you're in our program, we're going to help you with that speed, right? You have mentors and myself, right? So top mistakes that a lot of people do, right? This was me chasing too many strategies, right? So I did the national program. In the morning, I was going to wholesale. In the afternoon, I was going to rehab. On Tuesday, I was going to do seller financing. Tuesday evening, I was going to do subject to. Oh, Wednesday, I was going to do a lease option. Thursday, I was going to find a strip mall, right? So too many strategies out there, right? The other thing is waiting for the perfect timing. When the market's really good, when the market's really bad, when we get a new president, when it's out of hurricane season, when it's hurricane season, when interest rates go higher. So there's no way to time the market perfectly, right? So those are just all excuses that we make not to really get into the business. And then learning without executing. Some of you guys, and I love you guys, this is me, I'm all in, and I'm really not sure how to do this. So I'm just going to go under contract. I'm not even going to do it the right way, right? I'm not going to put the inspection periods. I'm not going to use my title company. I'm going to make it hard. I'm not going to have proof of funds. I'm not going to spend money on an inspection. I'm not going to have my contractor go out there, right? So you got to learn these things also, and then trying to do it alone. So when you join, BPM RIA and our mentoring, you literally have a power team, right? Meaning everything that you need from hard money, title. I love calling Kevin Thatcher and asking him questions about title or probate. Our contractors, when it comes to, Carl Sheely. I have questions on cost segregation. I call up Jose, right? So these are mistakes that people make in the beginning. So you want to limit these mistakes. Put in the chat, how many guys are loving this? You guys are getting good information. Okay, some of you guys. Okay, I only got one or two people. All right, there you go. All right, fair enough. Right? And again, so one of the things you want to pick one clear path. Right? So again, pick the easiest path. I like wholesaling, so when I lost everything, I needed to generate money quickly with limited risk. So that worked for me. And then it's also, don't be scared to take the imperfect action. Right? And what I mean by that is, again, you're not waiting for perfect timing. It's okay, right, to make mistakes. And when I say mistakes is offering too much on a property. That's okay as long as you have an inspection period. You could always get out of those deals, right? The key in our game, I call it, is talking to sellers, right? And get feedback fast, right? You get something under contract, you send it out to your wholesale list or other investors, you send it to me, and I might say, hey, Majid, that's way too expensive. How'd you get 300,000? Oh, hey, Nish, why do you think it's 300,000? Oh, well, I think it's this. And I go back and find out, or I tell you, the investor and say, hey, no, this is why. Did you see what else is going on here? The rentals you got are not correct. And then also be in execution mode. So what I mean by that is analysis paralysis. You guys got to stop doing that, right? Should I invest in myself? Should I really get into real estate? Right? Meaning I don't know what the numbers are. One of my biggest mistakes I made, especially in the beginning, it was funny because I was so stuck in analysis paralysis that what I did was it stressed me out. And by the time I actually got back to it, or the property or to the seller, thank God it was under contract with somebody else. It's like, oh my God, thank goodness, right? A lot of you guys get stuck, right? Too much information. How many of you guys have information overload? So I do love all the technology, YouTube, with social media. I love it for certain things, and it's information overload. Literally, you're going to do nothing. right? So pick a path, right? You got no structure, trying to figure it out on yourself. What I'm going to tell you is you're going to pay for it one way or another. It's going to be time or money or both, right? And you have to build a structure, and that includes your vision, right? No accountability. I'm just going to wing it, right? Oh, I talked to one seller, I don't know, this month, right? KPIs, key performance indicators. You need someone to hold you accountable, right? We all know, let's say I want to lose weight. Why do people hire trainers? They're gonna hold you accountable. I don't know any high-end people that don't have accountability partners, mentors, or masterminds. You could be Tiger Woods, and even Tiger Woods has a swing coach, right? Michael Jordan, there's other coaches out there. And then there's no environment for action, right? You're just kind of, well, you're doing this by yourself and you might not have support at home, right? So my parents, when I lost everything and I tried to get into real estate and it didn't work out, they said, you tried it your way, now what? Right? So that's something totally different. And just because you have information, it doesn't create transformation. Execution does, repetition does, guidance does, and environment. So you've got to be around like-minded people. You got to come to the meetings, right? Again, a lot of times it could be your spouse. It could be, for me, it was my parents that didn't think I could do it. And now it's funny, my dad says, "Oh, I know you could do it. I knew you could always do it." So I always laugh after that and say, I should have recorded you, Dad. You weren't always like that. I was very lucky that my wife always supported me and said, you got this, right? So a couple of things that happened to me after, the bankruptcy, right? I had to simplify the business. So I went from scaling to like, I have to put money in my pocket. I got to build that momentum, right? I had to focus on fundamentals. I wasn't just looking at numbers or hope that prices went up. I got away from, I just need to get a deal just because I was freaking out. Like, I got to get a deal. I haven't gotten a deal in this long. I looked at the real numbers, right? I looked at exit strategies. Those are all important, right? I built a repeatable process. So if you guys were on the Vision Systems People webinar we did, so we actually did was build out a full system, right? We're using software. We're using the right CRM. We're using even internally on the RIA side, right? Alexa's using Loom. We have SOPs, standard operating procedures. So again, these are the things that you have to take the time to build out. And then I had to execute with discipline. I wasn't just throwing money at things, right? So meaning, hey, if I'm going to buy a property, I'm going to go take a look at it. Unless I have it under contract and I have it already sold wholesaling, I'm okay with it. If I'm going to rehab the house, I'm going there to look at the house. I'm taking Carl with me. So again, you want to execute with discipline. Before, I was just buying properties in Tampa. I was buying pre-construction. I never looked at the properties, all the above, right? So the habits that keep investors stuck, right? Overthink. Too many guys overthink about it. You're waiting for certainty. How do I really know I'm going to make money on this deal? So when you're in our one-on-one mentoring, the people that know me, I'm not going to lose any more money, right? Meaning I'm going to make sure that we don't lose money in deal, so I'm going to be certain. A lot of times, we'll pass on deals, and that's the learning lesson, right? So I'm taking all that away from you. Again, having mentors or mastermind, not doing it alone, and confuse learning with progress. Alexa hears this all the time. I hear it all the time. I'm just in learning mode. I just want to learn everything. There is someone in my mastermind group that I'm in, a friend of theirs. They did 13 rehabs and they lost money on 13 of them. What they said was each one was a learning lesson. I don't know about you guys, that doesn't work for me, right? So don't think learning is progress always. And some of the things that's really important too is if you want it, some of you guys are like, hey, I've already done a couple of deals. I have a couple of properties. Now what, right? I want to scale my business. And so you need a vision, you need a system, and you need people, right? You got to learn through action. That's super important. And you have to have mentors and in masterminds, right? You got to learn from other people that do this well, and you execute imperfectly. right? Again, that's really big. Like you're going to figure it out. It's not always going to be perfect. You're going to mitigate your risk, right? I always say is again, when I put up the money for the deals, you have nothing to worry about. And the final questions I always ask is you need to answer what is, will you keep learning? Is it the right time to invest? Will anything ever change? And I'm tired of being on the sidelines. Which one hits the most for you guys? Right? For me, it was I was tired of being on the sidelines. I was just sick and tired of watching other people make money. I was like, they're so brave. And then I started saying, what about me? Right? Sidelines, okay. Some of you guys, yeah, I get it. Right? Action's better than perfection. Absolutely. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of our success stories. So quickly on some of the things that for me that cost me was the 28 properties. So I bought I had high-end properties on Brickell. I had a high-end property on South Beach. I had low income in North Miami Beach that were condos. I had 10 units in low income in Tampa on a small building. What I didn't realize was that I owned more than 20%. So I ran the HOA that no one else could get financing. The apartment building had massive CapEx expenses. I didn't do an inspection. I had no idea that the roof was out of life. So now it's 40 or $50,000 assessment, and I own, I think it was 10 or 12 of the units of the 16 unit building. So now I'm basically paying for all that, right? I had some duplexes in a bad area in Tampa. It's still a war zone. It was a war zone when I went to USF there. I made the mistake of actually hiring a friend of mine that moved to Tampa. I worked with him at Bank of America. Nice guy, never a property manager. So I never checked up on it. Driving to Tampa, lost money there. I did a rehab of where I wanted to live from Miami Beach on the Venetian Causeway, hired a friend that was a contractor, got his license, and I never checked out his progress. I literally didn't go there for 7 weeks, and it was only 3 miles away. I finally get there, and it hasn't been worked on in over a month and a half. So that was another mistake. Gosh, what are some of the other mistakes? I've had so many that it's, God, I buried all these mistakes. And so the key is, right, you got two choices. So some of you guys have made mistakes or you got beaten up on the sidelines. On real estate, it's how you bounce back. Some of you guys are newer to real estate and you've only seen the market go up. So someone that's seasoned like me or other seasoned investors, we knew, real estate's in cycles. It goes up and down. And this time I'm prepared, sitting on a lot of cash, looking for good deals and implementing that cash, right? So just showing you guys, I'm going to show you some of the deals that we've done. So this was one of our deals. Actually, it's funny. Violet was at one of our meetings and she did read Deal of the Month. And again, pre-foreclosure. Violet loves knocking on doors and she's super sweet. I always love her attitude. And her first thing is, more importantly, is to help out people. So we got it under contract. They've been living there, I want to say 15 to 20 years. And they didn't want to sign in front of their yard saying, hey, I'm selling my house, right? Your nosy neighbors are saying, what are you doing over there? And she was able to sign this to one of our buyers and made a $35,000 assignment fee. This was one of our deals with Sandra, one of our elite students, and again, 55 and over. And this is one of Harry's, was the mentor on it. And this had black mold. So on the outside, it didn't look too bad until you went inside. Again, we looked at rehabbing. When you're an elite student, I will literally put up the money for the deals for the rehab. Instead, we just wholesaled it, a total profit of 61,000. These are net profit deals, guys, where the student makes 50% of the money on the deal, right? So $30,000 for her. This was a probate deal. There were 8 heirs. I have one sister, and I don't always get along with her. And if you could imagine, out of 8 siblings, 7 of them wanted to sell, and there's one that wanted to keep it. So of course, we closed on it. It was a lot more complicated than most other deals, and this was Mario's deal. And one of the things was we actually had to we bought 7 shares of the property, and we had to go to court. We held it, and the court forced them to sell his pair. And instead of rehabbing it, we wholesaled it, made $70,000. Right. And same thing on this one. This was Davidson's deal. This was a little unique. This had violations on the house, a couple $100,000. When we use my own cash, I'm literally willing to close with violations and liens. This was a little unique. The homeowner owned it free and clear. We did go in front of the city, the magistrate, with our students. We brought the homeowner there, and we did get the violation down to about $15,000. The homeowner paid half, we paid for half. We did evict the other tenant. It was interesting because she was living the homeowner was living in one room. She had a roommate, and we had to evict them. So that was pretty interesting. First time I evicted somebody while the homeowner was living there. So that was pretty interesting. We did wholesale it. We were gonna, and this one we actually sold to Open Door. We took care of the violation, and we sold it for $98,000. Our student made almost $50,000 on one deal. Right, so this is Julio. This house, he loves driving for dollars. You couldn't see the house. This was actually a double probate that we did. We walked the house. We paid for both probates. While we were doing the first probate, we paid for the second one. So when you're in our program, you work with your mentor, and if it makes sense, I'll go ahead and pay for the probate. We cleaned up the house. We're looking at rehabbing it. We walked into the house, and there's so much garbage in there. We had to put boards in here because you would actually fall through. So we said, okay, maybe we'll rehab it. We actually wholesaled it. That was another $110,000 net profit. That was 50 grand, 55,000 for our student. Again, this is another hoarder house, Julio. That's him right there. If you guys were on the webinar last week, we did a one-on-one fireside chat with him. Julio works full-time, loves knocking on doors. This one, the homeowner wanted over $750,000 as is. The gentleman was living in this house for 5 years in this condition. The son was a truck driver, and he wanted to get his dad out of there. And he wanted him to move up to either Port St. Lucie, definitely, or Fort Pierce. And all he needed was about 200 something thousand dollars, $358,000 in liens. We got it down for less than 1,700 bucks. We had our end buyer pay for it. I closed it with the liens on it, and this was $138,000 net profit. Julio made about $69,000 on that deal, right? And then again, unsafe structure, black mold on this one, $111,000 on this one, net profit. And so I know what you're saying is like, man, these deals are great. And I'm going to play a quick video of what one of our students said.
Hi, everybody. My name is Antonio Lopez. My company name is Antlop Investment Properties. And before I met Anish Dave and joined the BPM RIA mentoring, I had just a basic idea of what I needed to do in real estate investing. After I joined, aside from learning pretty much everything that was required to learn about real estate investing and to become successful, one of the biggest benefits that I received was the amazing network of people that were part of the club. Everything that you can think of, everything that you need in order to be successful in real estate investing, you can find it here at the BPM RIA. So thank you so much, BPM and Anish, for everything. I really appreciate it. I owe you guys a ton. And for you guys watching this, I highly encourage you to check out BPM RIA. It's the first place you need to, where you want to start your real estate investing journey. So.
And now, Antonio's actually doing short-term rentals. He's rehabbing houses. He's buying stuff in his Roth IRA. So this is another one of our deals. This was a reverse mortgage deal that Harry and Victoria did. Bought it for $171,000. This was our record at the time. One deal, $179,000. How many of you guys, if you did one deal and I don't know, $50,000, $100,000, it would change your attitude on real estate investing? Put in the chat. Give me a yeah, buddy, right? So this one, this was a rehab. This was a Sandra deal. So when you're an elite student, easy rehab. We cleaned it up, fixed it up, right? $53,000 profit. Thank God we had a big margin because the values went down. And what was important was that it was a 2-2 versus a 3-2. This house was one of Latanya's deals. We cleaned it up. Again, did the rehab. $67,000 net profit. We did this from beginning to end, 118 days. And this is what one of our other students said about our program.
My name is Kevin Tyree. My company name is, I work with BPM Rear. Before joining BPM Rear, my previous career, I worked at the Port of Miami for 23 years, and I also was a buy and hold investor. After joining BPM Rear, I've learned how to wholesale, short sales, work with probate properties, and things of that nature. Join BPM. Thanks, Anish.
Yeah, so Kevin wanted to add another income stream. He was a buy and hold guy, and he said, "Look, I want to find deals and make some active income, not just be a realtor." This was one of our other deals with Latanya. Same thing, easy rehab, cleaned it up. You guys are starting to see what the properties look like. Same kind of staging, colors, all the above. This one was pretty good. We did the rehab from beginning to end. The total net profit, $167,000. If you guys were at the meeting this past week, this was one of Marcella's deal that we did. We were looking at rehabbing this house, and then we got an offer that we couldn't refuse, right? And again, as an elite student, I'm willing to put up the money for the rehabs. So this was pretty good, $102,000 net profit. And then these were just some of Harry and Victoria's deals. So one of the things I teach you is how to make money and to pay the least amount of taxes. So they bought this in their self-directed Roth IRA. So on $1,000, they netted $145,000 tax-free. Here's some of the other houses that we've done. Again, they thought this was going to be a teardown in South Miami. We wholesaled this. We bought it for $150. We wholesaled net profit of $235. And then we had this was a duplex that Harry and Victoria, again, self-directed IRAs, and Harry almost didn't even knock on his door. Fixed a problem for the homeowner. He was in his 80s, and they wholesale this one. This is our record, $265,000 tax-free. And so when you got, some of you guys are saying, "Hey, this is some cool stuff." And I'm going to play a quick video of one of our attendees, Nicole, who attended our 2-day quick start just the same way that you guys are going to want to join our quick start this weekend.
Hi, my name's Nicole Bergatti. I'm with Bergatti Properties, and I'm currently a full-time employee of CBRE. I'm events and meeting coordinator. And prior to starting the 2-day quick start course, I've always wanted to do real estate. I've always been interested in flipping homes and all that good stuff. And I knew Anish, and I knew that this is what he did. And he's so smart, and he knows real estate so well. And so I went ahead and just took the course, and I am so glad I did, because a couple months later, we ended up closing a deal that was worth $42,000. And that's great money. And now I have a few more deals in the pipeline, and I'm super excited about my investing future. And that wouldn't have been possible without Anish and his team. And I 100% recommend that you take this course, get started, and do it.
Yep. And one of the big things is, again, a lot of you guys, you may not have real estate experience. And what she did was she did the 2-day quick start. And what was really interesting was it literally changed how she thought. The reason she got that deal was one of her mom's friends was selling their house, actually their son, and they had a piano. And they invited Nicole to come over and see if she wanted the piano for free. The house was definitely a mess. And she asked the son, "Hey, what are you doing with the house?" And he goes, I don't know, probably sell it. I'm not really sure. It's in bad condition. I don't know what to do. And that's how she got the deal. So again, $42,000 wholesaling. I know some of you guys are saying, look, I really want to go ahead and do this. So I'm going to tell you, you're going to want to book a discovery call. On the discovery call, you could ask me all the questions. We do have two different programs, our core program and our elite. Our core program focuses on wholesaling. Our elite does wholesaling and rehabbing. I know someone asked me in the chat, is we also do creative financing, right? We teach you how to do that. We teach you how to wholesale. We teach you how to rehab. We're going to teach you all that on the 2-day quick start, right? So we're even talking about how we use AI in our business, which is really important too. And so some of you guys are saying, look, I got to get in. Again, let's book a discovery call. We're only taking 6 students per month, right? So it's super important that you save your spot is number one. Our 2-day quick start, right, is literally we're going to show you how to do deals from A to B, assignments, double closings, AI, self-directed IRAs, rehabs, how to set up your corporation, and the software we use. So again, the first day, after the first day, you say, hey, Nish, it's not for me. It's a 100% money back guarantee, right? And the people that attend our quick start are, you might be an investor and you want to scale your business. You might be a realtor or you're new. So this is the perfect way to get in. Some of the bonuses that I have added for the people that are in action. I'm only going to run the bonuses actually until tomorrow, right? 2 tickets to Marshall Silver's Turning Point. Some of you guys have been to his Turning Point. He's one of my mentors, and I'm also in his mastermind. I'm going to throw that in there. I'm going to give you transactional funding for deals. So what does that mean is that if you have a deal and you get it under contract, I will put up the money for transactional funding, same day closings. Co-wholesale program. We have a 10,000 plus cash buyers list. That's a value of 40,000. And then our experienced power team. That's also included too. So that's 105,990, $990 of value, right? You guys got to jump in. Again, I don't want you to run into a meeting and you're saying, shoot, I still want to get into real estate and it's a year later. It's 2 years later, right? So one of the things is that, again, it's 100% money back guarantee. So if you're not happy, no questions asked after the first day. So I don't know how I can make this any easier for you, is what I'm going to tell everyone, right? I know one person's super grateful that they're on the webinar today because you actually got paid to be here, right? And for me, it's about action. I showed you some of the things that really stopped me, the mistakes I've made in the past, and my job is to get you to the next level, get you where you need to be, and push you guys. So again, we're not doing another quick start until I almost want to say May. So you're going to want to hop into. So again, take out your phone, scan the QR code. You can become a member. There is a bonus in there. Yes, Damien, I will throw the bonuses for you if you already signed up. You're all set. No problem. We're easy when it comes to that. So Alexa will note that. We'll take care of you on those bonuses. Now, who is the person that got paid to hang out, Alexa?
Alrighty. I am so excited because I just saw him a couple weeks ago. Sorry, I blew it. It is a guy. So I just saw him at the workshops last couple weeks. So thank you all for doing the raffle. We will continue doing these. We are super honored and blessed to do this. And our raffle winner is Surreal T.
All right.
Congratulations, Surreal. You're in.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. That's awesome. So I get a full weekend with you guys. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be entertaining. I'm gonna make you guys think. It's gonna be cameras on. I know some of you guys are saying I need to book a discovery call. Go ahead and book a discovery call. We do have third-party funding. So some people are financing their education with our partners. And you're gonna see there's so much opportunity right now for deals out there. It's gonna be awesome. So Also, what we are asking, if you could give us a 5-star Google review on the event today or any of our webinars, it really helps out our social media team. If some of you guys are brave enough and you want to do a video testimonial, go for it. Just let us know. We'll go ahead and do it. Also, if there's any webinars, fireside chats that you guys have some interest and you say, hey, it'd be cool. I'd like to learn more about this. If I can't teach it, I will definitely get an expert that can teach it, or I'll do a one-on-one with them also. So again, I want to thank you guys for hopping on today. I believe is this our last event before the quick start?
Yeah, this is our last event for the Quick Start training. You're on your mastermind event next week. Then we have the National RIA Cruise. So we won't see you guys for a couple weeks, except for our February monthly meeting online on Zoom, which is happening February 4th from 7 to 8:30. We'll be having a little party while Anish is on the National RIA Cruise. So please join me then because it is a topic that Anish is super passionate about. The whole financing, um, be infinite banking. It's huge, and if you don't know it, you need to know it. I know I'm getting into it right now with my fiance. He's gonna be on there. He's gonna be on the boot camp with me. Like we are all in on this stuff that we do here. And as you can tell, Anish is all in on you guys as well. So we had, I want to say, 10 to 11 events just this month, Anish. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys, that's in a 4 weeks, no,
yeah.
no, like a 3 week span. We had pretty much, I want to say almost 10 individual events. So we started
Mm.
off really fast and furious this year, and we will not slow down. We obviously have a great coach and a great mentor and a great CEO because he does invest in himself and his own masterminds and goes to the National RIA cruises and things like that. So we love that. We appreciate that, Anish, and we will be here when you get back, and we will have a little party while you're gone at the
There
February
you go.
monthly meeting.
And I'm not sure how many seats we have left. So just so you guys know, we keep the quick start small on purpose, with breakout sessions and keeping it intimate. So I think we only have a few seats left for
Yeah.
this weekend. So I hope to see you guys then. And again, let make real estate investing nice and simple, guys. Thank you again for being on this webinar, and I'll see you guys soon this weekend.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. See you later.